Hello, Cancer. It is time for your August 2025 reading. We're going to start off with a major arcana card this month to see what the primary energy or theme is. And you have one card, the Lovers. The Lovers. It's time to get to know this other person on a deeper level. Now, this could be a relationship, but it could also have to do with business. I'm feeling about a 60-40 split there, where you really need to dive in deep, have an honest conversation about what your expectations are, listen and understand what their expectations are. What are the goals? Are you guys on the same page or not? Is this something that could continue long term if you both adjust a little, or are neither one of you willing to adjust? Or what are the options here? Where is this going really? And what truly don't, and be honest. Honesty is going to be key here about anything that's bugging you a little bit, because those can build up over time. The irritation and aggravation. If you can live with those, talk to each other about them. Nothing is too little, essentially, is what they're pushing through. Nothing is too little to talk about. Nothing is too small. Bring it up. If it's bothering you enough now and it's starting to bother you more and more, that is only going to continue to grow until you address it. Now is the time. Take the time for yourself and for them. Let's see what these tarot cards have to say about these lovers. Strength, the Seven of Cups, the Five of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Moon. Okay. So with this Strength card here, which says, it takes great strength to be soft. Maybe you're the one who's always the disciplinarian, or the one who is always doing the tough tasks, and you just don't really want to do that anymore. You want to take a softer approach. You want to be the good guy. You want to relax things. That doesn't mean be lazy. That doesn't mean not get the work done. It just means go at it from a little bit of a more relaxed vibe, not so rigid. So it's things like, if we're talking about work here, something like that, flexibility in hours, or flexibility in when tasks need to be done. Maybe a general date by this date, with these certain touch points along the way, but not the drive to get it done immediately and then go right into the next thing and then right into the next thing. And then let's take our time. Let's be thorough with it, is another way to think of it. You want to have quality over quantity, and you want it to feel like home. You want this relationship, this connection, to feel like home more than office. Sorry, I need to adjust this. There we go. And this feels like a big deal for you. This feels like this is like a turning point in the way that you view work or work-life balance. And you're feeling the need to have more of that balance and not be quite so driven. It's like you've gotten to a point in your business or in your relationship where you're feeling steady and stable, and not a need to keep improving, not a need to keep striving for more. You're content with where you're at, and that's a power move, I think. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid to say that. Don't be afraid to say, I think we're in a good place. Maybe we can just relax and go with the flow a little more now, instead of always on the go and always striving. Maybe we just stay in for a few weekends instead of always going out. But I'm ready to make this change. I'm ready to go into this next stage of this connection, of this relationship. And I'm wondering if you're headed in the same direction. Let's find out. And then we have the Seven of Cups. You're a little bit spoiled for choice, but let's see what this card says. Not every great option you're given will be a great option for you. Exactly. There's a few different ways you could handle this. There's many different things you could do. But if you're not going to be happy with it, if it feels like a grudging compromise, then is it the right compromise? If you're resenting the compromise going into it, then perhaps that's not the right one for you. Pay attention to how you're feeling about the different compromise options or the different options, period, that you guys are coming up with. If you're not happy with any of them given, then keep trying. Keep looking for a solution. Or maybe the option is to dissolve the relationship. How does that feel? Does it feel right? Does that feel good? Is there resentment behind that? You may know what the answer is already. And then we have the Five of Wands, the competitive talk here. A good coven lets every witch have a say. It is going to be important that each side has their say and that you pay attention to what it is that they are saying. Not what you think they're saying, but get the facts, ask questions, gain clarity. Don't try to out speak or out idea the other person, because then you guys just get into this back and forth thing of one-upmanship instead of really seriously talking about the issue that's going on. It is not a competition. If you treat it as a competition, you will get nowhere. So the challenge here is to sit back and be willing to listen. And then when it is your turn, to speak your truth. We have the Nine of Swords. This can be a tough one. We all get a bit carried away with our worries sometimes. This is a card of insomnia, of nightmares, of restlessness, of anxiety. This means a lot to you. This was an important discussion, and you're winding yourself up about the possible outcomes when you need to just focus on where things are right now. Take a deep breath. Say, we don't know yet. This isn't necessarily a decision we need to make this month. Let's just think about the possibilities and come back together again next month probably to come up with a solution one way or the other. Right now it may look like we're on these two choices here. But let's sleep on it first. And then let yourself sleep on it. There's this, it's like you don't like loose ends when it comes to this. But you both need time to absorb the conversation, respectful for each other in that way, to really absorb what the other party is saying and how you feel about that. So if you find yourself going into, well, what about this? What about that? Write down the questions, go for a walk, work on a puzzle, read a book, do something to bring your mind back to the present moment, and then take that list of questions back to them the next day. This isn't a one-day conversation. This is an ongoing back and forth until you're both satisfied and comfortable and ready to come to a final choice, a final decision. You don't have to rush it. I think rushing it is what might cause this. So allow yourself to absorb the information. And if you forgot to ask a question right in the moment because you were paying attention and you wanted to be present in there, which you should be, feel free to write down follow-up questions later and then bring them back into the conversation again. But don't worry that you're not going to get to have these questions answered, because it's not a one and done thing. Let yourself relax, read a book, and go to sleep. And then we have the Moon, another major arcana card. Taking time for deep self-reflection is essential. So now you have the information. You guys have gone back and forth. All the questions are out there, have been answered one way or the other. Now is the time to absorb that information, to also take it all in. And for me, a lot of times the moon is about not just going within, but something that's been revealed, exposed. Through this conversation, you may have new emotions or may discover that you don't feel the way you thought you would about something. Take the time to reflect on why that might be. It sheds new light on the relationship, on the connection, this information, especially if you have time to absorb it. And really lean into that. Why? Why is that? What am I missing here? Or what am I seeing here now that maybe I didn't see in the past? Do this deep self-reflection so that you can be confident in your decision about this relationship. So you know what you want to do going forward. And that, Cancer, is what I have for you for your August 2025 reading. Please hit that like button. Please share this with others. Please comment below to let me know if this resonated with you or not. And please subscribe to help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.